And welcome to tonight's call. We've got A Ray has got the number one spot, followed by Adrian, who's got the number two. Agnes is here, and Alan's here, and Alf D is here, as well as Amaka, and Andy's here as well. Barrister Marv's here. So is Bernard. Oh, they all jumped up again. Some more A's came in. Bogdan's here, CK's here, Chantel's here, Charlie's here, Crypto Queen's here, Dan's here, Dan Tannery's here as well. We've got Daniel David Dermot, spelt wrong. That's maybe a typo. David Rasmussen's here as well. David Francis is in the house. Doug, and Doug S. Ferda, how are you? Frank's here. Gabriel's here. Hannah's here. Oh, it's jumping up. It's going crazy. You're all coming in late now. iPhone Martien is here. We've got Vargas again. We've got Jack in the house. Jason's here as always. Is that the right Jason? Yes, there's two Jasons. Jason B is here as well. Jeff is in the house. How are you, Jeff? Jim's here. I missed they all jumped up there. Judith is here. We're still in the J's. Lots of Johns here. Keith is here. Chemo's here. Kajartan's here. You were here last night as well. Kojo's here as well. Do you remember Kojak? There's Kojo. Welcome to the call. Lisa is in the house. Liesa, Malice here. Manthal's here. Mary's here. May's here. Mella's here. Whew. Another Mella McFall's here. Mike's here. How are you? We've got Milan, Mummy's here, Navin's here, Netra's here. Got a lot of people here. O'Brien. Wow, is that a first name? O'Brien. That's an Irish name, meaning son of Brian. Yeah, or daughter of Brian. Daughter. O means daughter. Mac means son. So Mac Donald is son of Donald. O'Donnell is daughter of Donald. There you go. O'Reilly, O'Brien, daughter of Brian, daughter of Riley. There you go. Ocean of Grace is in the house. I'm not laughing. Oseya Waman. How did that sound? Oseya Waman. Praise is here. Priest is here. Aha, we had you the other day. Robert's here. Robin's here. Rocky's here. Wow, Rocky, how are you? We got Sean here as well. Sheila's here. Sir Lancelot all the way. He's 6 hours behind me. Sir Lancelot, maybe 5 hours behind me. Snow cone. Well, we've had snow here twice today. Would you believe it? Snow twice today. You can see I'm wrapped up. Yes, we've got heating, but it's still cold. Snow cone's here. Sohail, you're here twice. Well done, sir. I don't know how you got here twice. So you're on the computer and the phone. Who else have we got? We've got Soma here. Steve's here. Lots of people. The champ is here. Well done, the champ. Veronica is here. And yes, we've got Zoom user in the house. That's enough, guys. That's enough of that. That means you're not on your own. All right, let's get going.
Recording in progress.
Well, thank you for thank you for nothing, because I'm going to stop that.
Recording stopped.
I'll tell you why, because I was saving it to my computer and I want to save it to the cloud. So I need to do it again. Here we go. Myself and technology, we are not great friends, but I get by.
Recording in progress.
Well, welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us for a quick overview. We're here to, I suppose, toss, turn, examine, turn upside down, peel the onion, open the layers, have a look around, and see what this Aurum is all about. I don't work for the company myself. I don't get paid by the company to present this information.
2020.
I'm totally independent.
The world was still living by the old financial logic, but we pressed.
It did that last night as well. It just wants to keep playing. It's a great video. That's a 10-year roadmap of what's about to occur. So if you have missed that video, get your hands on it. It's well worth writing down the numbers. Yeah, write down the numbers, the years, write down the timing, write down the events, and start believing in the vision of the company. That's what you got to do. You got to believe in the company. You got to believe in the products. You got to believe in Brian Benson. You got to believe in yourself. That's all you got to do here. So, Aurum, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I can't give you any financial advice. I'm here just to share my own opinions, my own due diligence. I'm willing to share that with you. Of course, I highly recommend you do your own. It's always prudent to do your own due diligence. Speak to an expert is probably the best thing you do. I would normally run something past my accountant. Now, maybe you don't have an accountant, but I do have an accountant, so I'd always run it past the accountant to see how he feels about it, how it stands legally, and how I need to establish it, and the taxation, and all these things are when you're getting into business, you gotta be aware of. Now, when we take a quick look at the legal and corporate structure of this opportunity, we can see that there are three separate divisions. I think the Aurum Foundation is the number one, and these other are under that. That's how I think it is. The Aurum Neobank is operating out of Poland. That's the European division. The Aurum Investment LLC is operating out of the Emirates, particularly in Dubai. I know they have offices there. You can see the license numbers there, and also the foundation was established in Hong Kong. Now, when we look at the people behind it and the people involved, we can see there's quite a diverse, I suppose, talents and skills from all around the world, from many continents. It's not specific to a region. We can see on the left-hand side, Leonardo from South America. He worked at government level on blockchain. He also worked with Brian Benson and Binance. He had his own companies. A very talented man. According to Brian Benson said this himself: there would be nobody in the world he would want building out his exchange other than this guy. So he obviously knows his abilities. He obviously trusts this man. And Leonardo has a lot of work ahead of him establishing the centralized and decentralized exchanges. There's going to be two. Centralized exchange, which we have already, and the decentralized one will be coming up soon. Aurum REC is in charge of Director of Strategy. He's from Asia. We've got Nicholas Kellen from I believe Australia. He's head of partnerships. There's Brent and Tobias. They are the VC advisory board. They bring on the big guys, the big VCs, the accredited investors. They deal with that end. They also have their own, I think these guys have their own VCs, or what do you call those? Yeah, venture capitalist companies. And they've also invested in Aurum. And these guys were speaking at their conferences, and happy to be associated with this. And then recently, we've had the addition of Bakari, who is the ex-deputy finance minister from Sierra Leone, and also Nick Patel. He will be the real-world asset relationship advisor. Nick is the founder of Clink Gold, if you've heard of that, C-L-I-N-Q, Clink Gold. And also he's the CEO of Bank of Bullion, an expert with 25 plus years in global finance. These two guys are a big addition to the team, and there are more corporates coming on as well. We recently also had Shane Morand added to the field marketing role, and so many, many more. And that's what I like to see. I like to see the company maturing. I like to see the infrastructure getting bigger. And these guys, this product these guys are bringing out should be with us in less than 14 days. I would suggest probably next week, but in less than 14 days, these guys will be revealing something very, very, very interesting. Now, the man of the moment, the man of the hour, the man of 2025, and about to be the man of 2026 is Brian Benson, the CEO from United States, a trader himself from Morgan Stanley Bank, went to Binance and done great things there. He was the managing director of LATAM. That means this guy opened all of Latin America, that everywhere from Brazil, Chile, Peru, Colombia, Paraguay, all the way up to Mexico on the United States border. This gentleman from the US was the MD of that whole region. His area presented 20% or up to 20% of Binance's total revenues. And Binance went from nothing to $1 billion in 6 months. This man has a lot of experience. When you come from that background, when you come from that growth, when you come from that place, that means you have experience, and that's what's important. His experience is number one, and number two, he's got connections, which is number two. If you want to Google him, no problem at all. You'd be pleasantly surprised. There's a lot here about him. Very positive. There's images here when he's younger. There's images of as he is today, and that tells us there's history, which is great. When we dig into some of the literature, we can find out here. Global Newswire have reported about them. Blockzingo have reported about them. Cointelegraph, Forbes. Everybody seems to be writing about this company. But here on Global Newswire, it says that Aurum secured a $12 million investment And that gave him a valuation back then of $100 million. Now he wants $1 billion brand. This is 1/10 of it already. And that was back a year ago, over a year ago. That article came out in February the 25th, back in 2025. And there are more articles there here. In the same article, it says Brian Benson is best known for his instrumental role in Binance's dominance in Latin America. Brian spearheaded the platform's exponential growth, and that's what he wants to do here. And as I said, Forbes have also reported positively. In fact, they've invited Brian Benson to the Forbes Council, which is a great, great accolade. We also see that both Visa and MasterCard are offering services here. That was probably done through an intermediary bank. I've actually found out the name of that bank. It's a fully regulated bank, and they're also partnershiped up here with Aurum, providing this sensational product, which is a credit card. But the difference here is you can upload your cryptocurrency onto this card, and that's a great, great, great product. Brian Benson is known for traveling the world, building his brand, looking for partnerships. He speaks at all the major conferences, including Token 2049. That's the biggest one in the world. He also spoke at Finance Week and the Blockchain Show over in the Emirates. He's been interviewed by many magazines, by many interviewers, including Wendy O. That's a great one for you maybe to go and do some homework on. Listen to what Wendy O asked him and listen to Brian Benson's answers. That might give you a clue if you're dealing with the right man or not. But here again, he is with 5 experts were selected for this stage. And you can see Brian Benson second from the right-hand side. Why is Brian Benson here? Look who's sitting beside him. The CEO of Sandbox, the CEO of 1inch. Have you heard of those platforms? Go do some homework there and see why is Brian Benson sitting in the middle of these experts. It tells you he's a well-respected man in the industry. He's a man of knowledge. He's a man of reputation. And he was also invited to the Satoshi Roundtable. That's a private invitation. The media are not allowed into this event. This is where the future of fintech is financial technology, the future of blockchain, the future of AI, all of that is discussed and at a very, very high level at the Satoshi Roundtable. Brian Benson was one of those privileged invitees to this particular council. And here he is with his arm round the billionaire himself, the creator and founder of Binance, CZ, and Brian Benson together. And that does tell you we're not dealing with an actor. We're dealing with the real Brian Benson. We're dealing with the Brian Benson from Binance. And if any company has a chance, it's certainly a company under this man's guidance. Now, we've also had a quick look at their company registrations. We found a registration in Hong Kong, but we didn't find offices there. So maybe the offices they use were their lawyers' offices or their accountants' offices to establish this. But we've sent somebody to the offices, and they don't operate offices there. They are a registered company there. So that's a little bit of homework we did there. We also got a copy of this from this is from the government of Dubai. It's a commercial license in Arabic and in English. And again, this is published on the company's office wall. And you can get copies of that as well. They have scribbled out the name here on this particular copy and the phone numbers. I understand the reason I asked, why is that scribbled out? Because, you know, if 10,000 people see this and they all ring this phone, like, what's going to happen? That phone's going to be disconnected. And then you're going to say, well, there's nobody on that phone. Now, I think that is Investment Commercial Enterprises. I'm not sure whether that's a government phone number they hid or whether it's... maybe it's something you do with Aurum, but nonetheless, on the office copy, it's not blacked out. On this copy, it is. So a little bit about that. Moving on from the company now, let's take a quick look at the products. They have this phenomenal machine. I've actually used the prototype of this myself. I did 2 transactions on it, and it came out on the bank statement, Aurum Brian Benson. I only did one for $1, and I think the other one was $3 something. So this is an incredible machine. Why is it incredible? Because I mean, I used to think that every shop had one of these. Well, they have one like this, but not this one. This one accepts crypto payments. The ones in the shop don't. So for shopkeepers that want to get an edge on business, they could advertise, we accept crypto payments. That would draw in a lot of new customers to business. So that's a great thing for businesses. They're also designing ATM machines. They've also launched for public beta test last November 2025. They launched this exchange. It's up and running. This is the centralized version there will be a decentralized version of this exchange. The interesting thing here is Brian Benson has agreed to give back 50% of the commissions to the community. Now, if you go and check what Binance or Coinbase or any of these exchanges made last year and find out how they made it, and then ask yourself, are they likely to give 50% back to the community? That ain't going to happen, but Brian Benson has agreed to give 50% of the profits. I think it's profits. I don't know if that's the right word. But they're going to offer 50% back to the community. They have a liquidity staking product on it. It's offering 17 to 20% a year. Customers are already using this. It's up and live and running since last November. If you'd like some free Bitcoins every day or free Ethereum or XRP or USDC or USDT, you can get every day added to your account for nothing. There's no trading going on here. Some people don't like trading, but with this, there's no trading. This is a staking product. In fact, with all the products we've spoken about, the ATM machines, the Visa card, the point of sale terminals, this here, no trading going on at all. These are just some of the larger ecosystem that I'm covering right now, but they do have some products as well. We'll take a look at it in a moment. But this is a sensational product. This is better than any money in the bank because, again, that's not financial advice, but tell me, where do you know, what bank do you know would offer 17 to 20% a year on your money? Because if there was a bank, we'd all be using it. It doesn't exist. And in terms of real estate, we know a lot of wealthy people get involved in commercial and residential real estate because it gives a yield. It produces money every year. But that money in real estate is usually 5 to 10% a year. This is much better. It's 17 to 20%. So a really, really good product. And then the one that's coming up very, very soon is the gold product. Now, we're going to talk about capital preservation. Do you know what that means? Capital preservation. It means hold on to your money. We're involved in a world where we don't have that. We have the central banks of Europe and the central banks around the world. We have the Fed in the United States, and they're printing this paper stuff, and it's definitely not money. We call it money. If I said, you have any money in your pocket, you take out $10, I go, that's not money. That's $10. Because $10 will not buy an ice cream over here where I live, and my money won't work in the United States because it's not money. It's called currency. What money is gold. Gold is money. Gold is the real thing. And years ago, you weren't allowed to print money. The government and the Fed couldn't print money unless they had the gold in their safe in the vaults to print to that order. So if they had $1 million of gold, they could print $1 million of paper money. But they broke that operation in 1971. They split that gold standard that used to be there. And since that allowed them to start printing money since 1971. And it governs us. It creates inflation, deflation. It destroys. But preservation of your money is if you keep it in gold. Gold is a hedge against inflation. So these guys, Nick Patel and Brian Benson, are offering a product coming up next week, I believe, where 50% of the product will be physical gold, the real metal. You can have that at your home. You can collect it. You can tokenize it. So if you don't really want the physical metal, you can have the digital version of it. And the other 50% is for what you call yield generation. So capital preservation, yield generation. You remember those two things? Capital preservation, yield generation. What is a yield? A yield is profits generated from the product. So they're going to put 50% into gold trading bot, a new gold trading bot. It'll be the XAUT versus USDC trading pair. XAUT, that's gold, / USDC. So 50% will trade, 50% will be the physical metal. And that's going to be a fabulous product to preserve your wealth for future generations and to make money with yield generation at the same time. Looking forward to hearing what this is all about, guys. That's coming up soon. Right now, it's time to hear from Brian Benson himself. He wants to create 1,000 millionaires.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 million. We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires.
One more time.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to create 1,000 millionaires? So when I heard this first, I rolled my eyes. I didn't laugh. I went, how is he going to do this? 1,000 millionaires. I didn't realize he'd already seen people, millions and thousands of people becoming millionaires when he worked over at Binance. He saw these kids with computers. He said they were that thick. And I said, how do you get a computer that thick? It's called a gaming computer. These guys were coming in, they were mining Bitcoin and coins, they were putting them onto Binance. Binance was rocking and rolling, money was moving. He saw so much wealth created back when he worked there. But now he wants to do it again. He wants to do it as CEO of Aurum.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
Yeah, that last sentence is a big one. I think what we have here at Aurum actually is very similar to when I started at Binance. I know it off by heart, why I hear it all the time, because that's incredible. He's starting to get the feeling, the energy, the momentum around this company that he's building here. He's starting to feel what he had back in those days in Binance, and that's a good sign. And he travels the world building his brand, as I said, everywhere from Argentina. He was in London, he was in the Netherlands, he was in Belgium, he was in Vietnam, Hong Kong, he was in Dubai, he was in Greece, he was in Slovenia, and that's just some of the places last year. So he gets around looking for partnerships, looking for deals, and look what he's put together. He's pulling together these gold deals. There's a real estate deal coming in, and many, many, many more in the pipeline. He's building a phenomenal ecosystem. Now, here's the bad news, guys. It's 20 quid. I don't know if you use that word quid. We say 20 quid. It means 20 pounds. It means $20. It's actually 19.99 USDT. Okay. So it's just slightly less than $20. This is your subscription for the whole year. And this gives you access to the products if it's something you'd like to try yourself. Again, I'm not here to sell you any products. I don't have any products to sell you. I don't have any cards to sell. I don't have any products. So I can't sell it to you. But if somebody goes to this website and registers with the company and you pay that subscription, from that moment on, you're dealing with Aurum directly. They have the products. It's them that can supply them, not me or not the person that invited you here. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any advice in that respect. So it's up to you to do your own due diligence. If you like to subscribe, it's like going to a gym. I mean, I don't subscribe to any gym. Why? I'm not interested in going to the gym. There's other people that do like going to the gym. So they subscribe, they pay a membership to the gym, and they can go and use the running machine, the rowing machine, the weight lifts. They can use the steam room, the sauna. Yeah, I'm not into that. So I'm not interested in a subscription. Same here. Not everybody would be interested in this either, but it's $20 for the year. And if you did pay that subscription to this company, then they give you access to lots of their products. Now, we've talked about some products there. We've talked about Visa cards and ATM machines and point of sale terminals, and we've talked about gold and different products. But now there are some other products we'll touch on lightly as well. This is the EXI bot. This is a trading AI agent that does all the work for you. You don't have to do anything yourself. It's all done by AI, a bit like ChatGPT. You type something in there and it comes up like that. These guys have operated this. I've actually heard today for over 6 years, but they have evidence of it trading live for over 3 years. The 11th of January, 2023, they put 1.5 million into a live trading environment to test out this particular product. It's been profitable since 2023 to the tune of about 17.5% per month on average. It's not fixed. It moves with the markets. It's up and down. I saw results for 2023 and it was good. It was very good, but it was I call it rocky. There was months that only did 9% for the month. There was other months it did 18, and the next month it was down at 12%. Then it was up to 15. It was like rock. It was profitable, but not consistent. However, when I saw the results for 24 and 2025, it was much, much smoother. You can see here 15, 17, 17, 17, 17, 16, 17, 18, 17. I call that fairly smooth. And that's because the AI is deep learning, the AI is machine learning. It has so much data over this last 3 years piled into itself. It gets all the data feeds from Bloomberg, a very special feed, into the AI. It's got every news channel, social media channel. It can kind of, without any emotions, it can generate decisions on all of that information from the past and what it's been fed. It is overseen by live traders, but the live traders don't actually execute the trade. It's done by the AI. The live traders are there to oversee in case there's any unusual announcements. They can detach it or just disconnect from the exchanges. It has its own risk management portfolio built into it. They don't use what's called future trading. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know anything about trading, but they don't do futures trading. I'm told it's only spot trading, which is a very safer or much safer way of doing it. Now, the 17.5% average that they are telling us, that's not available to anybody on this call or anybody who listens to this. That's not available. That's what the entire fund generates. What you might get would be determined by the deposit you make to your own account. So you can set up an account with these guys independently. Let's say you tried $120 or $140. It'll fall into the basic category. These accounts are enjoying benefits to the tune of about 10% a month. For those of you that can do over $249 but less than $1,000, let's say you had $400 to try or $720 to try, that would fall into the second category. There's no package. You just put in what you like. This threshold would generate somewhere in the region of 11% a month, just slightly better than the lower category. And you can see those of you that can do between $1,000 and $2,500, those customers are enjoying 12% every month. And as you can see, obviously, the higher the deposit to your own account, the better the potential rewards for you. So I had several questions about this. I don't mind sharing them. The first question I had is, how does the company make money if it's paying out all this money? And the answer I got was, well, it's on the screen. If the fund is doing 17% and the majority of customers are going to be in the first three categories, the most customers on the planet will be between $100 and $249. That's where the most customers will be. And that's where Aurum makes the most money. Because if you're getting 10% and the company's getting 17%, they make the spread. They make that difference. That's how trading works. It's usually a 60-40 split or maybe a 70-30. And then at the very higher levels, it's usually 80-20. In institutional trading, it's usually an 80-20 rule. But here it starts at 10%. So the company makes 7%. For those of you that get 11%, the company's making 6%. For those of you that get 12%, the company still makes 5%. And in every situation, the company's making money. So I thought that was an important thing to understand, that the company's making money. It has to be a win-win situation. The next question I had is, can you take the profit out? The answer was yes. My next question was when? The answer was anytime you want. I says every day, any day you want. So that was good. The next question I had was, what does it cost to withdraw the money? Because I've heard of platforms that are charging 10%. In fact, at the end of last year, somebody told me there's a platform charging 12% to take your money out, which is crazy, crazy stuff. Well, here's 1%. So I was very pleasantly surprised to find out there was 1%. That's very reasonable, very fair, I thought. So with that said, I wanted to see some accounts just to see how they perform. So I'm able to find these two. This one was a $500 deposited on the 17th of April. So how do we know that? Well, it says it down here on the bottom left. Created 17th of April, 2025. It doesn't say 500. It says 882. That's because the AI generated 382 profit on top of the 500 initial deposit. So my next question was, well, how long did it take to get from 500 to 882? And the answer is on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. It took until the 17th of September. It took a whole 5 months to make that. So from the 17th of April to 17th of September, that's 5 months. And this account made $382 in 5 months. I wasn't impressed. because I was thinking, well, $382 doesn't feed my family for 5 months. It can't be that good. But once I did the maths on it, once I worked out the percentage, and how you do that is you take the profit, which is 382, you put it over on top of the 500, which is the principal. You divide the bottom number into the top number, and you get 76%. When I saw that, I went, oh my goodness, this is incredible. 76%, that beats the bank. That beats property and real estate. That beats gold itself. Incredible results for a small account like 500. Of course, you can start with a lot less than that, but that's just a customer example of how one particular account. Again, it's not financial advice. It's just evidence that we were able to get our hands on because I'd like to just share the due diligence that we've done on this. The next account I saw was a larger account, and we've been able to track this for over a year, well, almost a year now. The next account you'll see here started on the 10th of April. You can see that in the where the red arrow is pointing, 10th of April last year, 2025. This account was funded with 10,000, but we can't see 10,000. We only saw 12,360. So in fact, in the green here, this account made $2,360. Well, my question was, how long did that take to get from 10,000 to 12,000? And the answer is on the bottom right-hand corner. You can see the timestamp here was on the 16th of May. Well, if this account started on the 10th of April, 1 month would be the 10th of May, and 6 more days. 1 month and 6 days. Allow me to round that up to 5 weeks. In 5 weeks, this account went from 10,000 to 12,360. It made 2,300 in 5 weeks. Incredible, 23%. The next time we got a screen grab was the 24th of June. That means it was trading now for 10 weeks in total. It is the same account ending in 1972. It is started on the 10th of April, but look at the balance. It's not 10,000. It's not 12,000. The balance is now 15.5. That's a 50% increase. Actually, it's 55%. It started with 10,000. 10 weeks later, there's 15,000 in the account. Wow. After 3 months, it jumped to 17,000. And after 4 months, this particular account doubled. Now, I'm not here to tell you that your account will do the same. I don't know where you're going to do 10,000. This customer is compounding. Can you see this little button here, the reinvestment button? It's engaged. It's on all the time. So that's why it's doing quite better. The customer was expecting 15%. That's what the customer was expecting, 15%. They ended up getting, look at this, 23%, 22%, 24%, 29%. Can you see that? Incredible. And that's because it's compounding. You don't have to do that. This button is in the off position when you open an account. It's your discretion whether you decide to do that. When it's not compounding, you can take out your profit every day. But if it is compounding, then it stays inside Binance, inside OKX, inside KuCoin, wherever they have your account trading. That's where the profit and principal stick together to make additional profits. That's how it works. Now, I couldn't believe these profits are available, and most people can't believe it because we're not used to that. We're used to the traditional banking system where you might get 1 or 2% in a whole year because it's the banks that are making all the money. They do the trading. They take your money, work it for themselves, and give you nothing. But when you look at the likes of this website here called CoinMarketCap, this is a very well trusted and respected website. It's called CoinMarketCap. You can go there anytime you want yourself. But we just looked at what some of these cryptos were making in 24 hours, in one day, 24 hours. Look at this. This one made 2,000%. Now, Aurum is doing 10 to 15% a month. This is 2,000% in a day. Look at this one, did 800%, 500%, 500. Look at Pepe Trump, did 423% in 24 hours. Well, Aurum's not doing anything like that. They're doing 10 to 15% in a whole month. Imagine 24 hours. Imagine they could do this stuff. But that's risky because these things go up and down and up and down and up and down. So Aurum's strategy is to go in and take a little bit of profit and keep it a little bit of profit, not to do, to get into a risky situation. And therefore, when I see these numbers, it gives me some kind of confidence to say, well, okay, well, maybe 10 to 15% is possible if these kind of numbers are happening in crypto. So that's the EXI bot. They have about 8 or 9 different ones as well. One is called the EXI Pro. There's a range of bots in the Zeus bot. You can find more about those later. But the main one, the best performing one, in my understanding, is called the EXI bot. The last thing I want to talk about is this card. I think it's incredible. I don't know how it's done. Only somebody like Brian Benson can do this. This card, they don't ask you for your driver's license or passport. They don't even ask you for a bank statement or a utility bill. Everybody can get one. You can get one tonight in 5 minutes. The virtual version, it works on your phone. I don't know how to do it myself, but you can. The kids know how to do it. You can attach it to Apple and Google Pay, and all you do is double click this button, and it goes up on your phone, and you can tap it in the shops. I'm not familiar with those things. I've seen it working, but that works straight away without any KYC. You can bring your cryptos from anywhere you have them. Let's say you have them on Trust Wallet, or what do you call that other one, MetaMask or Coinbase or Binance. You can import your USDT to your Aurum account, press top up card, and the money jumps up onto your card. Now you can spend crypto anywhere in the world that has the name Visa or MasterCard on it. And it's a really cool way of being able to spend money, because that's the biggest problem. There's two problems with cryptocurrency. The first one is, how do you turn your traditional money into crypto? How do we get it? How do you change pounds, euro, dollar, yen, naira? How do you change that into cryptocurrency? Where do you do these things? The second problem is, well, if you did have this crypto stuff, how do you spend it? Who takes it? Where do you accept it? Well, Aurum already have one solution done. They have the off-ramping solution, because you take your cryptocurrency, press top up, and it goes on the card, and you can shop anywhere you want with it. So that problem solved with Aurum. The other problem's not, but it will be in the future with the exchange, because you'll be able to go to the exchange, set up your account there. You'll be able to transfer a bank wire credit card onto the exchange, swap it to this crypto stuff, and then you can get in and out. The one's called the on-ramp. This is called the off-ramp. So this is the ecosystem they're putting together. This card has been working since June 2025. I'm going to show you one customer using it back in June 25. This is the second time he used it. And here we go.
Here we go then. Second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Mina.
There you go. Imagine being able to spend your crypto anywhere. That's the grocery store. It works on the internet for web, flights. It works for online shopping. It works anywhere you can tap the card, at the petrol station, at the gas, incredible product. And then it also works at the ATM machines. If you get the physical card, the physical cards are much harder to get, so don't expect them in the short term. I know in the Emirates at the moment, with the challenges going on there with distribution and airports being opened and closed, don't be expecting the physical card, but the digital card works perfectly well without this. These are handed out at events. They had an event in January in Dubai. They gave everybody in the audience one of these. Over 600 of them were given out then. So you can get the physical card. Either you attend the office with an appointment. You can collect your card there. Once the postal services and all the flights are all resolved, there's probably a chance that you're going to get your card in the mail as well. But that's my understanding of the card. And that's the presentation over. We've had a look at the company. We looked at their registrations and licenses. We looked at who's behind it and some of the corporate staff and the people that are building it, including the ex-deputy finance minister from Sierra Leone. We looked at Brian Benson. We did all of that. Then we moved into the product range and looked at the things that they're developing right now and the things they already have. The things that are coming up now would be the gold product, which is going to be quite interesting. They're also going to let us get involved in real estate at an easy way to get involved in real estate. Getting involved in property is quite difficult. Normally, you need to marry a bank. What do I mean? You normally have to get a mortgage, and you have to honor that mortgage for 25 years of your life. With Aurum, you won't. You'll be able to get into property for $1,000 or $500 probably. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be very, very small. And what we do is we fractionalize a big hotel. So let's say we take the hotel and we put it into 10,000 little blocks. And you buy that one for 1,000. I buy this one, and she buys that one, and you buy 2, and he buys 3. You're buying fractions of the hotel. And depending on the fraction you hold, you'll get the profits the hotel generates, or you get the capital appreciation. If you want to sell it, you just sell your token to somebody else, and then they own the digital ownership, and it'll all be represented on the blockchain. So that's a very good product coming up. The gold product, I'm excited to hear about that. I love gold. I think gold is the real money. So I like the idea the way you get 50% is physical gold and 50% goes into a gold trading yield product, which is quite cool. The last thing I want to cover just for 5 minutes, for those of you who would like to stay, you don't have to do this at all. We're going to talk now about the partner program. This is totally optional. It's not something you're obliged or must do. It's totally optional. Most companies now today do have some kind of affiliate program. I think crypto.com have one. Binance definitely have one. Brian Benson's familiar with that one. The best one I've ever seen has been Amazon. Very popular one. But there's many more businesses that have it. Apple have an affiliate program, and Aurum have decided to have one as well. When I looked at it, I thought it was a multi-level thing. You've heard of these multi-level things. So when I saw this table, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, this is 7 levels. No, it's not 7 levels. I was wrong. This is an affiliate program. And here's how it works. Everybody starts as a Nova. And if you decided to share your link with somebody, they wanted to get registered, the company gave you a thank you bonus. That's what I call it. It's just a handshake. It's just, hey, listen, we've got a customer. Thanks for recommending them. There's 3%. So if the customer puts in $100, you get $3. That's it. So you're not going to get rich, are you? If you had 2 customers, you'd make $6. You're still not rich. So it's not one of these get rich quick schemes. So, however, why this one is better than Binance is because Binance gives $5. This one gives $3 on 100. But if you do $200 here, you get $6. So that's better than Binance, because if you do $200 in Binance, you get $5. If you do 1,000 in Binance, you get $5. If you do 10,000 in Binance, you get $5. Here, you get 3%. So if it's 100, you get $3. But if it's 1,000, you get $30. If it's 10,000, you get $300. So it's a better system, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to pay for this. It's like when you have a neobank account with these guys, they give you an affiliate link in your back office if you know how to find it. And if you share it, you share it. If you don't, you don't. Who cares? It's just optional. But if somebody did register, you're going to get this 3%. But if your customer does another deposit in 2 months' time, you're going to get that 3% again and again and again and again. So it's an ongoing 3%. Is quite cool. And you can have 1 customer if you want, 2 or 4 or 15 or 12 or 19 or 10,000, doesn't matter. It's a 1-tier program. Now, if you want a pay rise and you don't want 3% anymore, you'd rather get 5%, then what you need to do is go Voyager. What that means is you need 7,500 of total trading volume in the entire community. So let's say you had 2 customers, and one of those customers had 1 customer, there's 3. And one of those customers had 1, there's 4. And then one of those customers had 2, there's 6. And let's say there was 10 customers in your business, and out of all 10, there was 7,500 trading, you go Voyager. So it's not just on your customers where this volume comes from, it's entire group volume. It actually says it, total team sales volume on the EXI bot. So once you hit that, you get a pay rise. You get 5% on the deposits of your own customers. If one of your customers is a Nova and they get a customer, they get the 3, you get the difference. You get 2% to infinity on every single deposit through thousands of customers to infinity generations. You're getting 2%. If you get the customer yourself, you get 5%. If somebody else gets that customer, you get 2%. They get 3. You split it. Okay. You also get a $100 cash bonus instantly, and then every day thereafter, you get 5% on the customer's profits. All customers to infinity, not just your own customers. All of the customers in your team, you're getting 5% of what they make. So if I make $100 and I'm one of your customers, you get $5. If somebody else makes $200, you get $10. You get paid 5% on every customer to infinity generation. As long as you're the only Voyager on that line, you're taking all the 5%. Now, if you want more than 5%, all you need to do, very simple, is go Vanguard. How do you do that? Number 1, the sales volume needs to increase from 7.5 up to 25. It's not an additional 25. It's an inclusive of the first 7,500. So it just needs to grow to 25,000. You do require 2 Voyagers in the team, but here's the good news. You don't need to find these superstars. They could pop up anywhere in the team as long as they're 2 separate legs. And now what happens is you get 7% on your own customers' deposits every time they deposit. If one of your customers finds a customer, they're Nova, so they're going to get 3%. You get 4%. You get the difference between 7 and 3. You used to get 2% when you were a Voyager, but now you're getting 4% on all deposits to infinity through Novas. Yeah. If a Voyager brings a customer in their business, you're getting 2%. It's a differential plan. You get a 500 instant cash bonus, and then every single day you get 7.5% on the profits of every customer. If there's a Voyager in the line, they're going to take 5% of the daily profit. You get 2.5 override to infinity generations. On all other lines, whether you don't have these Voyagers, you're getting 7.5% on every customer's profit to infinity. Now, for many people, that's a mouthful. It's like learning a new language, but listen to that 2 or 3 times. If you don't understand it, we can jump on a flip chart. We can explain that to you. It is quite simple. Even if you don't understand it, guess what? It works. So if you turn on a light in your house and it gets bright, do you understand where the light came from? It was totally black before you walked in the room. Totally black. You couldn't see anything. Pressed a switch on the wall and it went bright. Where did the light come from? What is light? And imagine you turn the switch off and the light goes away. Who takes the light out of the room? How did you push all that light away out of the place? It was the room was full of light. You flick a switch and it goes black instantly. There's no light there anymore. It's gone. It's away. Did you ever think about it? We use it every day, but we don't understand it. We use our car every day to take us from the house to the shop. We don't understand how the fuel gets up into the engine and all that magic that goes under the bonnet. Yes, a mechanic understands it, but most people don't. And that car takes you from A to B. This is a vehicle that takes you from where you are financially today to where it is you'd like to be financially in the future. It takes you A to B. You don't have to understand how it works. Do the work and you get paid. It's very, very simple, but you can earn and learn. You don't have to learn, then earn. Lots of people say, well, I don't understand it, and they don't do anything. Well, that's silly. Because if you got a $100 bonus, you go, well, why did I get the $100 bonus? I see. I'm not a Nova anymore. I'm a Voyager. That's why I got the $100. You will learn as you earn it. All right. Now, if you want 9%, you need a little bit more volume, a little bit more structure. If you want 12%, a little bit of volume, a little bit of structure. If you want a $1,000 cash bonus, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 cash bonuses, all available. And it doesn't stop there. I told you there were 15 ranks. That's only 7 of them. If you'd like to go elite, there's a $20,000 bonus. Magnets get 50. Mythoses get legend. A friend of mine got $150,000 at the start of this week. He went legend. A 33-year-old gentleman who'd never built a team in this industry before got himself a $150,000 legend. On the first New Year's Day, he got $100,000. So it took him from New Year's Day until I think it was Monday of this week to get an extra $150,000 bonus. So they are being achieved, these bonuses. They seem too big. They seem unreal for most people, but people are achieving them. And of course, if you'd like to be one of Brian Benson's millionaires, then you just make your way up to Dominion and you get that $500,000 bonus as well. Now, I know a lot of people aren't interested in that. Some people would be happy with an extra $100 a week. That's fine. Lots of people are very happy. An extra $100 a week coming into the household will make a big difference. $400 a month that you're not getting from your job, that you're not getting from the government, an extra $400 a week, very, very possible here. There's others on this call would prefer $100 a day extra money. Yes, that's possible as well. $700 a week. How bad? An extra what? $2,500, $3,000 a month. Very nice income. But there are those with the appetite, with the work ethic, that will go ahead and push themselves up this, I call it the Aurum mountain. There are 15 steps to the top of the mountain. Yeah, and 12 steps takes you to Dominion. The first step takes you to Voyager. Very easy to do. The first step takes you to Voyager. The second step takes you up to Vanguard. And it's just a progression. A little bit of extra volume, extra team building, up she goes. And of course, we don't even need to look at Archon, Pantheon, and Alpha. These just are crazy numbers, but there are people hitting them in the pre-launch and also inside 12 months, people are hitting these kind of numbers. So very, very interesting plan. I just wanted to give you an overview, and I don't want to take any more of your time. I want to thank you for coming. We've taken 50 minutes of your life. We've covered a lot. We've played several videos there. We played Brian Benson. We played a video at the start that lasted 4 or 5 minutes. So all in all, to get all done inside an hour, I think that's the best we can do for you. So thank you very much. Again, do your due diligence, do your homework, go and speak to a professional before you make any decisions. And I hope the decision you do come up with is the right one for you and for your family. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you again soon. Ciao.